I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequence.
Stop scrolling for a second, because what I'm about to tell you is one of the most shocking moments in celebrity drama this year. Picture this: a crowded event hall buzzing with lights, music, and fans screaming. Suddenly, the entire energy in the room shifts. Teyana Taylor, the woman who has been at the center of months of messy rumors and heartbreak, walks in wearing a dress that hugs her in all the right places. But this time, it isn't her confidence or her style that steals the spotlight, it's what's beneath the fabric. A roundness, undeniable and impossible to ignore. A baby bump. Within seconds, gasps ripple through the crowd, screams erupt, and chaos takes over. And then, in the middle of it all, one man collapses to the ground. That man is none other than her ex, Iman Shumpert. Yes, you heard that right. Iman collapsed in front of everyone the moment he saw what nobody expected. Witnesses say it wasn't just a stumble. It was a full collapse. Paramedics were called. An ambulance rushed to the scene, and what should have been a private heartbreak instantly became a public spectacle. But how did it come to this? Why did the sight of Teyana's pregnancy announcement shake Iman to the point of breaking down in front of hundreds of people? That's the question haunting fans everywhere. The truth is, the tension between Teyana and Iman had been brewing for months. Their breakup was messy, their co-parenting battles even messier, and the whispers of new men in Teyana's life kept the blogs busy. Yet, despite all the chaos, there were still fans who held out hope. They believed these two would somehow find their way back to each other. That maybe after the fights, the court drama, and the rumors, love would win in the end. But when Teyana walked in that night with her secret showing, all of those dreams shattered instantly. The atmosphere in the room shifted like a storm rolling in. People gasped, phones flew out of pockets, cameras started recording as everyone realized what they were witnessing. Some fans clapped and cheered, others stared in disbelief, but none of those reactions compared to Iman's. He was already there, already tense, already trying to keep his composure. Witnesses said he'd been stiff all night, barely smiling, barely engaging, almost as if he sensed something was coming. And then, when his eyes locked on her, his body betrayed him. His face went pale, his hands trembled, and before anyone could even react, his knees buckled. He hit the ground hard. Panic erupted instantly. Security shoved through the crowd, voices rose, and someone screamed for help. Within seconds, paramedics rushed to Iman's side, checking his pulse and breathing. Fans looked on in horror as cameras rolled, capturing every single moment. They placed him on a stretcher, strapped him in, and wheeled him out through a sea of flashing lights. Just like that, the man who once stood tall on the basketball court, famous for his composure and strength, was carried out broken and vulnerable for the whole world to see. Meanwhile, every eye turned back to Teyana. Her face told a story no press release ever could. Shock, worry, guilt, and determination all wrapped into one. She reached for her stomach instinctively, protecting the life inside her while holding back tears that threatened to spill. She didn't speak, didn't confirm, didn't deny. She just stood frozen as the man who once promised to protect her was taken away in an ambulance. Within minutes, clips of the collapse flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Hashtags shot to the top of trending lists. Hashtag TY on a bump. Hashtag Iman collapse. Hashtag ambulance called DOT. Memes flooded in almost instantly, some cruel, some sympathetic, but all fueling a fire that was already raging. Fans debated in real time. Was this pregnancy reveal intentional? Was it meant to shock him? Or was it an accident that spiraled into something uncontrollable? But the bigger question, the one nobody could ignore, was, whose baby is it? Because for Iman to collapse the way he did, it wasn't just surprise, it was heartbreak. It was betrayal. It was the crushing realization that the woman he once called his wife might be moving on in a way that left him behind forever. The whispers grew louder. Some pointed to Aaron Pierre, the man rumored to be close to Teyana in recent months. Others speculated about secret flings or hidden relationships. Nobody knew the truth, but the uncertainty alone was enough to tear the internet apart. And through it all, Teyana stayed silent. No posts, no statements, nothing but silence, a silence that made the noise even louder. Meanwhile, updates about Iman trickled in from the hospital. Sources close to him claimed he was stable, blaming the collapse on stress and exhaustion. But others weren't convinced. They believed it was something deeper, heartbreak made visible. After all, how else do you explain a man fainting at the sight of his ex's pregnancy? Theories kept swirling. Some fans swore he had no idea she was pregnant, and that this was the first time he'd seen it with his own eyes. Others believed he knew but wasn't prepared for her to reveal it publicly. And then there were those who thought he knew the child wasn't his, and that was what truly crushed him. Teyana, on the other hand, was reportedly emotional after the event. Insiders said she was torn between the joy of carrying new life and the heartbreak of Iman's collapse. They revealed she had been planning to go public with the pregnancy soon, but never expected the reveal to unfold in such a dramatic, heartbreaking way. Witnesses described her as shaken, protective, and deeply conflicted. The fallout was massive. Blogs dissected every angle. Fans replayed every second. Social media turned into a battlefield of opinions. Was this the final nail in the coffin of their already strained relationship? Or could this shocking moment somehow force them to face the truth, no matter how painful it was? Days later, Iman finally broke his silence with a cryptic post, a black screen with the words, "Not everything needs to be for the world." No mention of Teyana, no mention of the baby. But the implication was clear: he was hurt, blindsided, and overwhelmed. His collapse wasn't just physical. It was emotional. It was mental. It was deeply personal. And that's what makes this story so heartbreaking. Because behind the curated Instagram posts, the red carpet smiles, and the polished interviews lies a raw, human truth, one almost too painful to watch. This isn't just another celebrity breakup. This is the slow, public unraveling of two people who once looked at each other like the sun rose and set in the other's eyes. Now, they're trapped in a relentless cycle of courtrooms, headlines, and emotional warfare. Teyana, the unshakable force who danced through pain and smiled through storms, is carrying new life. But this time, the glow is dimmed by judgment, whispers, and the crushing weight of a world watching her every move. She isn't just fighting for peace, she's fighting for her right to heal, to love again, to be a mother without her past thrown at her like daggers every time she breathes. And Iman, the man who once seemed untouchable, charming, athletic, magnetic, is now silent in the eye of a storm he never saw coming. There's sadness in his quiet, a kind of ache that can't be dressed up for cameras. Because maybe, just maybe, he's starting to realize that forever can vanish in a single argument, a single decision, a single moment when pride mattered more than peace. Caught in the crossfire are their children, innocent, confused, and far more aware than anyone wants to admit. No child should learn about love by watching it fall apart in tabloids and TikToks. But here we are, and the truth is, this is bigger than a baby bump, bigger than a breakdown, bigger than one viral collapse. This is about the death of a dream, a love story that once gave fans hope, now becoming a cautionary tale in real time. So where does this leave them? For Teyana, it means stepping into motherhood again, not with pure joy, but with the full knowledge that the world will judge her every move. Her silence isn't weakness, it's survival. It's protection for her unborn child, for her heart, for whatever pieces of herself she still has left. For Iman, it means facing a reality he never imagined. Rebuilding won't come with press releases or podcast sound bites. It'll take therapy, accountability, growth, the kind that's messy and uncomfortable. And for the rest of us, we wait, we watch, we scroll. Because if this saga has proven anything, it's that nothing is ever as perfect as it seems. The baby bump may be public, the collapse may be viral, but the truth, the real truth, is still hidden behind closed doors.